Take a look at the $4 tier, the Money Homie tier. That's where the second part of this video is going to be. It's a full tutorial that guides you through the process of making a custom character in Animal Crossing New Horizons from beginning to end. Take a look at that right now. Go do it! Or else you'll never get to see me do a cute little dance. Cute little dance. Cute little dance. First of all, I just want to thank you all genuinely so much for joining the Patreon. It means so much to me. Secondly, I'd like to thank you all for being so patient for me to get this video out, because right after I released the Basics Part 1, you know what happened. Mod Makeover died, and now we have Makeovers with Clue in its place, because Nintendo really doesn't like me. So as of now, this video assumes two things of you, the viewer, which is that you've seen the Basics Part 1 and you have a modded Switch, and number two, that you own a copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons. The first thing that we're going to do is use this tool called NX Dump Tool, which is the method that we're going to use to copy Animal Crossing's game data and files and such over to your PC. All right, so here's NX Dump Tool running on my Nintendo Switch. You're gonna go to Dump SD Card, you're gonna scroll down to Animal Crossing, and then you're gonna do, what we want is the ROM-FS. So you'll go to ROM-FS options. Well, you'll wanna turn on the update and DLC, so flip that to on, because you wanna dump the latest update along with the base data. So you can do ROM-FS section dump, and then there you go, it's dumping all the files. So I'm actually going to cancel this because my SD card is very slow, so it takes like 36 hours to do the entire dump on my very slow SD card. Let's just hit cancel. Let's just cancel that. Stop. No, I don't want to delete anything. No, it's fine. No, whatever. I already have a backup. I don't need the SD card ones to be accurate. So this is one of my very favorite sys modules that is so convenient when you're doing any kind of layered FS mods. It's an FTP server that runs in the background, so you don't have to take your micro SD card out of your Switch ever again, especially when you're doing layered FS mods and you gotta test things over and over and over. You have to take out your micro SD card like 37,000 times. But instead, just run an FTP server on there. You don't mess with your micro SD, just copy the file while the Switch is on.
But Clue, what is that? What is an FTP server? What does that mean?
FTP is File Transfer Protocol. It's a method of transferring files from one place to another over the internet. So the Switch is running the server, you need a client to actually connect to it. My FTP client of choice is FileZilla. I wish it had a dark theme, because it does not have a dark theme. It is the widest application that I still use. I'm sure there's some other FTP client that I could use. They're all basically the same at this point. I know that there's WinSCP, that one's pretty good too. WinSCP can handle SFTP connections too, which is cool. When you have that sys module installed, you just gotta type your IP in there if you know it. I don't actually know it. Hold on a second. So I have a Tesla overlay to show me what sys modules are on and to quickly toggle them. So just search sys module Tesla overlay, you'll find it. So as you can see, sys FTPD is on, which means the FTP server is running. I'm just gonna block this with my hands because it's private info. But yeah, there you go. That's what we need right there is 192.168.1.28. That's a local IP, 1.28. And then you type in the port and then boom. And then there it is, there's your entire SD card over the internet. If you're copying huge files, it's not that efficient. You know, a lot of the time it's still faster to just use a micro SD adapter. It is so much more efficient when you're doing lots of tiny file transfers back and forth for tiny mods and tiny fixes and things. Man, it is a lot faster. So now that you've got your ROM-FS dumped, here is what a ROM-FS dump should look like. The model folder is where all the fun stuff is. There's a reason that the model folder is split into 3 folders, because, oh my god, let's just watch the file count. Look at this. 38,939 individual models across 3 folders. Nintendo, organize your models. Make subdirectories. Like, this is dumped directly from the game. If there were subfolders in the game's file hierarchy, they would be here. They're not here. Why? And because of that, you're going to want to grab this tool called Search Everything. It has been such a life changer for digging through this unorganized mess of files. So let's say that I was looking for a specific character. Let's say I was looking for Peanut. Peanut is an NPC that is not a special character. You know, special characters would be like Isabelle or Nook or something. They're a squirrel and they're number 0. You put all that together and then you got NPC NML SQ00. And there you have it, boom. And there's Peanut. Ta-da! It's like a magic trick. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to clarify something that I said earlier. I said that the model folder was split in 3. Internally, there is only one model folder. NX dump tool was the thing that split it into 3 parts. But basically, if you're putting things on your SD card for layered FS, don't do model_0 or model_1. Just have one model folder and then you're good. But Clue, why are you telling us all this about the villager IDs? Why is that important? There's only a specific number of character slots in Animal Crossing New Horizons, right? The only way that we can get new characters is by replacing one that already exists. NHSC is a really good way to look up villager IDs. See, like right here, Kid Cat is Cat 10, you know. Let's say that I want to make a custom rabbit character. So I'm going to go over to the Animal Crossing wiki for rabbit and take a look. Let's see, which one do I want to replace? As much as I love Dottie, she would make for a good base for the idea that I have. So I'm gonna do Dottie. So take a look at this guide on GBA Temp. It's a guide for perfect villager injection using NHSE. If you have this file set, you can just do load villager, click on the villager dumps, and here they all are. So I wanted to replace Dottie, so I'm gonna type Dottie in there and then just click open. And then now I know for a fact that she is Rabbit 1. So now I can use my search everything tool, 01. And then there it is. Put that in there. Let's take a look at her. Let's take a look at her. There she is. I've not gone into any details about Switch Toolbox, so let me do that real quick. So this is the GitHub page for Switch Toolbox. You just wanna click on this big fat download button, and then click on this big old zip file. You're gonna take all these yummy delicious files, put them all in there. Switch Toolbox can open basically everything that Animal Crossing New Horizons has to offer. You take the model that you want to drop in there and you just drop it in there. And then you drop down this folder and then you drop down that and then you click on it and then it shows the 3D model. And you can use the mouse to drag it around and you can orbit it and it's really fun because you can go like, hello, my name is... Heck, what was her name? Dottie. My name is Dottie. Blah, 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 blah. So the thing that we're mainly interested over here is the textures folder. You're gonna right click on that and then do export all textures and make sure that you pick a folder where you know where it's gonna go. I'm gonna call it Dottie Textures. Double click on Dottie Textures, select folder, and then it's gonna open up this little dialog. You're gonna wanna set that to PNG so that you can easily edit it with whatever graphics application that you wanna use. And then it's gonna take a little bit to decode everything. And it's donezo. So let's go ahead and open up that folder. All right, so here are all of Dottie's textures. If you look through these textures, you'll immediately notice that we have ALB textures, ALB. We've also got mix textures. We have also got normal textures, which are NRM. But what do these mean? The first thing I'm going to introduce to you are the ALB textures. I don't know why they're called ALB internally, but I'm going to call this the RGB layer. This is the texture data that passes all the way through the model. It's the thing that you see when you look at them. It's got their facial expressions, their fur patterns, and stuff like that. All of the rest of the layers modify the RGB layer in some way, indirectly or otherwise. So you could consider the RGB layer to be the primary. Next up, we've got the alpha layer. The ALB texture is exported as an RGBA PNG, and this layer comes from when you separate the alpha layer from the RGB. It's a bit hidden at first, but it's just as important as the rest. As far as I can tell, the alpha layer is used to decide how much saturation the texture is allowed to have. If the alpha layer isn't included, or if it's blank, the resulting texture's saturation will go through the roof and look really bright in Engine. Switch Toolbox doesn't take the alpha layer into account when previewing models, so you can only test your alpha layer in Engine. Next up is the mix texture. This layer's job is to keep track of light reflection. For example, the whites of Dottie's eyes should reflect a little bit of light because, you know, eyeballs are a little bit shiny. The pink ring right there is what decides that. It would also handle extreme scenarios such as Kid Cat's helmet. It's extremely shiny, and the way light reflects off it makes it look like plastic, as it should, you know, because it's a helmet. And the final texture is the normal map. This layer is responsible for giving the illusion of depth. Here's what Dottie looks like with the normal map enabled. Here it is. You can see that her eyes are just a little bit receded from the rest of her face. And here's what it looks like without the normal map. Yeah. It's not completely necessary, and the game will function with a flat normal map, but if you can make one, then go for it. There's also a lot of tools that can do a passable job of generating normal maps for you, but usually I just make them by hand. And that's all the layers you need to know about in order to make a custom character in ACNH. It's a lot to take in, I know, but that's what this video is for. So you guys still don't know what my idea is for the custom character that I want to make. My concept is that I want to make like a power outlet themed, like electricity themed rabbit character. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this right here, and I'm just gonna draw over it in Photoshop. I just stole this from some stock photo, but it's a good enough reference for what I was trying to get at. I want to make a Coco-like character, right? But with a plug for a face. I think that would look kind of cool. There's a very lazy Photoshop for you, but just to get some ideas out, it's usually good to just kind of draw what ideas are bopping around in your brain to you know, so that it's more tangible, something to work off of. I've been working on this video for 3 days. I just want it to be done. I just want to be finished with it so I can work on fun stuff again, because I've been working on this video for so long, it feels like I've been doing it forever. I'm only 10 minutes in and I'm only half done. So I've opened up So I've opened up Dottie's body texture here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is separate the alpha layer from it. So layer mask from transparency. Go down here where I'm in the way. You right click on this, go to disable layer mask so that you can hide it temporarily. That way you can see all the full RGB colors. Now the obvious problem with this is, what is this? What does this mean? What is any of this? What's that? What's this? What is this over here? What is that? So you're gonna wanna open up Switch Toolbox again, put Dottie, the hottie with a body in there, and then you're gonna wanna click this button up here, UV Viewer. This will show you the UV map for each of the textures. So this is the body texture UV. So the orange shows where the texture is mapped on a model. As you can see, this is clearly the back of her head. You can just generally figure out what these shapes are just by looking at them, like figure out where they go. These right here are her ears. So this is the back of her body. This is the front of her body. I believe these are her legs and her feet right here. Rabbits don't have paw pads. Did you know that? They don't in real life, I mean. Like, they don't have them in Animal Crossing either, but they don't have paw pads in real life. They just have really fluffy little feet. And these right here are her arms. So what I like to do is I like to take a screenshot of this. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Just grab that right there. And then drop it right on top of Photoshop. Whoa. Alliteration. Ho ho. So I didn't scale it perfectly, but it doesn't matter. Just convert it to a smart object and scale it up to whatever you need it to be. You want it to be 512 by 512 so that it matches up. Boop. And then you can turn the opacity down so that way you can still see where everything is while you're editing. Very convenient. You might be wondering, wait a second, why isn't the UV map for the ears showing up? Why is that not showing up? It's because right now we're only looking at the body UV. So look up here, you're gonna wanna change that. You can drop it down on the right side here. You're gonna wanna change that to MCAP Viz. This is the ears model. See, there you go. So there's the ears, there's the back of the ears, I believe. Pretty good stuff. So I'm gonna screenshot that as well. I'm gonna grab that out of there, rasterize it, cut, paste, delete the rest of the layer, make this opacity 100, merge these layers together, and then bring the opacity back down. So that way I have the whole thing all in one. Let's do it. Another trick that I like to use sometimes that you should keep in mind is if you want your UV map to appear more clearly, like let's go to the body for example, in the top left you can change the brightness so you can make this completely black. And then you can paste it on top of it or maybe key out the black so you just have the transparent orange. That's another little convenient thing to do if you're photoshopping it up. In my case, I don't really need that. I like to have the reference behind. So I'm gonna make a little quick edit here. I'm not gonna put too terribly much effort into it. I'm just gonna do something quick as an example for the video. Let's just draw, let's just give her some eyes on the back of her head. This is just stupid, I promise. I'm not gonna continue to do stupid things. This is just for funzo, so that I can demonstrate something. Yes, she now has eyes on the back of her head. So let's go ahead and save that. I'm not gonna bother with the alpha layer right now. I'm just gonna skip it just for this example. It's just a stupid little gag I'm doing. The reason why I did that is because I want to illustrate how you can preview what you're drawing really quickly. So select the body texture to replace, and then we're gonna select the texture that we just edited, see, with the goofy eyes on it. You usually don't need to change these settings, so just leave them as they are. Like, okay. And then when you look at that beautiful pair of eyes on the back of her head, I laughed immediately upon seeing it because it's so stupid looking. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because while you're previewing in the model, the colors aren't 100% accurate. Open up the settings menu, which is up here, and you can untick enable PBR. That's gonna turn off the extreme lighting conditions. You can also disable the normal maps and the speculars from here, but you usually wanna leave the normal maps on because they look really nice. They give like a fur texture to it. So yeah, that's good for testing. I usually like to have the PBR on because I just think it looks kind of neat, but it can also overexpose your textures, so do keep that in mind. Also these right here, if you want to hide these little diamonds, you can just untick display bones and then those will go away. There's a lot of cool stuff in this settings menu. Just tick through it, find some neat stuff. Anyway, let's undo that because that's stupid. Should I make her base black and give for like a plugged face. I think that could look kind of cool. I'm not gonna use perfect black. I'm just gonna use like a really dark gray. Or sometimes really, really dark gray. And then just go like, so that's gonna make her all black. Wow. Oh, I actually kind of like that though. Look at her, she's a ninja. She's sneaking in.
My name is Donnie. I'm going in.
See, I told you this program's fun. It's really fun.
Ha! What are you looking at?
So I actually kind of like that dark gray color. I think it looks kind of cool. So let's move on from that. Let's start with her ears. Here's a bad stock photo that I'm just gonna steal colors from.
And this color is now mine. This color is mine. And this triagonal sign.
Clue proceeds to sing the entirety of the Stingy song from Lazy Town for 37 minutes. What is wrong with him? Does he think his patrons want to hear this? What an idiot. I just want to see what the gray ears look like, because I think that's only the front. There's nothing wrong with saving and experimenting. Okay, so yeah, I was right. That is only the front. So this curved back part is something that we need to be concerned about. Because what I want to try is I want to try and make the sides like this sort of curve right here. It's kind of hard to see with the black, but you know what I'm talking about. The curve right here, I want that to be a different color. I think that would look kind of cool. Like if you had like the sides of the plug be a different color. So I'll do that. I'll see if I can make that work. We're gonna want to use the UV map as a reference here. I'm gonna use this plug picture again to steal a color from. Give me this color. It's mine now.
Yes, it's mine. Give me your colors. Yeah.
So maybe here? Maybe this line seems good-y? I don't really know, TBH. Let's see if that looks good. That's only gonna be one of the ears though. When you're making stuff like this, it's just a lot of trial and error. You just gotta try stuff until it looks cool. That looks cool. I'm into that. That looks rad. That's actually exactly the effect that I wanted to do on my first try, so that's pretty sick. I could probably just copy and paste it for the next year. I also want to make a hole in the top of it. I won't make an actual hole. It'll just be like, it'll look like it's a hole because I don't want to injure the rabbit. They're just cosplaying as an electrical thing. Width, negativo. Yeah, it looks good. That's fine. 20 pixels? That seems good. Boop. Boop. Bosh and skadosh. All right, cool. So, that doesn't look as cool as I wanted it to, actually. It's kind of hard to tell. It doesn't really look like a plug. Also, what is with the warping here? Why is this not a circle anymore? Oh, I see. Okay. The polygons just aren't being nice to it, I see. I don't know, does it look like a plug? I don't think it looks like a plug. It's too round, but it's like, I don't know. I might end up ditching this idea, but it's making for a decent example for this video because I'm not really liking how this is looking. It is what I imagined, but it just doesn't look good. What I imagined isn't good, so that's okay. I removed the holes because I didn't like them very much, so I'm just gonna keep it flat colors. I think that would look cool. Okay, that's fine, I guess. I don't know. Oh wait, yeah, sorry. One more important thing about the body texture. I almost forgot. We didn't do the alpha layer yet, so let's go see what the alpha layer actually looks like. So you're gonna... So this is right here. So this right here is the this right here is the alpha layer. You're gonna select that layer, grab the whole screen, copy, paste. There it is. So now you're gonna move that to the top of the layers list. So this is what it actually looks like. This is actually completely fine. We don't really need to change this because I didn't really change very much about it. Actually, no, I did change the back. So the method that I like to take whenever I'm doing these is I like to use this tool, which is the spot healing brush tool. Very, very easy. You can just make this size big and just go like... Perfect. Looks excellent. All right, so I merged all my layers together and that deleted my layer mask. Let's make a new one. Layer mask from transparency. And then you can just paste this, click in here, go over to channels, click that, and then paste it right in there. And now you can hide this, and then wow, the transparency's retained. So now you can save this as a PNG. You always wanna make sure your alpha layer doesn't get destroyed. So now the alpha layer's there. You can't tell obviously, but you know. All right, so of course, here's the first eye texture. Let's go ahead and layer mask that so you can see the transparency layer, which is behind my big old head right there. You're gonna disable that so you can see underneath it. And of course, we're gonna re-enable that later. All right, look at this, it looks so good. I could steal these perfect shapes, it looks great. Yes, it looks so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put her eyes. Actually, I kinda want this shape around here because I like it. So let's just grab let's just delete all this outline here that I don't need. So there you go, now that's transparent. Put that in the center so that I know where the center is. Then it should be able to hook onto where the exact center is. Yep, there it is. So that's not good, that's gonna cut off half the eye. So let me figure something out here. I guess I can make it a little off center. Maybe if I do it right underneath the eye?
Very interesting.
I don't know, whatever. I'll just grab this top half, make sure that I know exactly where I left it. Put it right there, I guess, and then scale it down. Yeah, whatever, I don't know, let's do it. Why not, right? I'm going to live past making this video. Like, I'm going to make more videos after this. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. So there's the top half of that. Now I'm gonna take a mouth texture number 1. So let's go ahead and take the bottom half of this that I separated out. Take that,
Gimme.
paste it into the mouth zone. We're gonna convert it to a smart object so that it scales nicely. And then center it, I guess. That should be right. Let me see. Yeah, wait, no. It's a little bit too small. So let's go ahead and do a test with this. We don't have to worry about the alpha layer for the test. We can make that in a second. I am losing my mind. All right, let's go ahead and put these in here. So you're gonna replace IALB0. Replace that. IALB0. All right, cool. Oh, scary. All right, we're gonna do the mouth as well. Ah! It's nightmare, it's a nightmare. Hold on, let me make this even more, let me make this more visible, hold on. Boop. This is hilarious. That absolutely doesn't look good. I mean, why is there a seam in the middle? That shouldn't be there. I don't like that the seam is there. Let's make this smaller. Let's make this way smaller because this is gonna reach all the way to the edge of the texture. So let's do it like this. Let's do it like that. Like, oh, well, you know what? Let's make it even smaller. Yeah, like that. That should be good. We gotta make sure you reference your UV maps when you're scaling this kind of thing because I didn't, because I wasn't thinking about it. I'm just trying to get this out. Actually, you know what? I could vibe with that. He's a little wide, a little bit surprised. I'll give him that. You know what? I'm actually kind of into it. It looks kind of neat. It doesn't align perfectly because I didn't do it. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did wrong, hold on. So I just moved that up a little bit because you have a little bit of buffer on the top for the mouth. Good enough. I can't be bothered to fix all that. It's 1 pixel, come on. No one's gonna notice this 1 pixel that's out of place. Come on now, nobody's gonna notice that.
Come on. Nobody cares that much.
All right, I still need to squish it this way a little bit because it's still like very, very wide. Yeah, I guess. That does look a little better actually. That lines up even less. Pretty good though. You know, I'll take it. That's pretty neat. I didn't explain what I was doing here. So what you can do is you can right-click on the textures folder and then replace all of the textures with a folder that you have in mind. Like this is my edited texture folder. You're gonna select that, and then it's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna show you which images it's importing, right? So you can take a look at them before you actually hit OK, and then you hit OK. So if you want to actually import those, you can also do it manually by hand. You can do right-click on embody, for example, and then replace it. That's the body texture. Oh no, that's a mistake. I made a line.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'll fix it right now.
Wow, that actually lines up really nice now. Hey, cool, we got our guy. Here he is, he's done. Or I mean, he's done. We got a little few more things to do. So let's merge, let's merge our layers together for the head one. We're gonna take this texture here, right? Copy and paste, right? You selected this one, so copy and paste, and then you can see it, right? So there it is. So we're gonna take this color right here. All right, so now that you have this color in mind, you're gonna use the spot healing brush tool, right? And we're gonna remove all this, get all this out of here, get it all out, just get it all out of here. See, there we go. Now it's nice and nice static texture here. So we're gonna hide this for a second. Select them eyes with your magic wand tool. Go up here, turn on your thing again, and you paste it in there, and then you're good. That's good enough. This usually ends up being pretty successful for me, but I will come back to this if the saturation ends up being a problem because black tends to not be very nice to the alpha layers. So we're gonna take this alpha layer that we made, merge it together into one layer right here. Merge it together, so now it's one image. Copy that, click on this right down here, channels, open that, and paste it there. So now it all matches up. Oh right, I forgot. You can't just transfer it from one. Oh, you can. I didn't know you could do that. That's really cool. Oh yeah, undo everything real quick. This static, you're gonna wanna keep this consistent between all your textures, so copy that. Oh, hang on, no, copy that. Copy this right here, copy this noise texture, paste that up here, and then you're gonna magic wand tool this mouth right here. I'm gonna rasterize this so I can do that. Boop, and then go up above your static texture, and boop. And now that's good. So merge those together. Copy that, put it right here, open channels, paste it into your mask layer, and then that's good. Those right there are your final. And then move the alpha layer up there so it matches. Bam, donezo. Save that. Anyway, so now I've got those textures, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace those with the ones with the alpha layer in them that I made just now. We've got the body texture in RGBA, so it's got the, it's got the color edits that we did, and we've also got the alpha layer in there. We've got the eye texture, the first one. We've also got the mouth texture with alpha, so that's good. So what I'm gonna do, what I like to do for testing is, when you're in Harvs, the only thing that villagers can do by default is blink. They have 3 frames where they blink, so 0, 1, and 2. So I usually just like to replace 1 and 2 with also 0, just for testing purposes, so that when they don't blink and completely change images. So yeah, just do that manually for a sec. All right, so once you've got 0, 1, and 2 to the same texture, you can go ahead and save it, and we can drop it into the game and see what it looks like. So I'm gonna open up my FTP and transfer the file over real quick. Normally I wouldn't show something as tedious as an FTP client, but I've actually switched my FTP client from FileZilla over to Smart FTP, and it kind of has a dark mode. It's like gray. But I like this one because it's very Windows Explorer-y and it looks really nice. And you've got like all these buttons up here. I usually hide them because I don't like them. But still very cool. Atmosphere, contents, 6,000. Oh.
Interesting.
What? Oh, Animal Crossing's open, that's why. If you get some weird errors when you're trying to transfer files into your Animal Crossing layered FS, you gotta close the game first. You can't do it while the game is running, or else it'll lock you out of that folder. Oh, what? Oh, I have a very smooth brain, because if this happens, I did not change the normal map to accommodate this. I forgot to change the normal map. I did this exact same thing when I was making the barrel video. I forgot the exact same thing. I was like, oh, I forgot the normal maps. Ah! Remember that? It's such mundane problems. I have to go to the normal map and be like, oh, time to use this tool. Time to use this. There you go. That's done. Now I'm gonna save that. Cool, thanks. Replace the mouth with the one we just edited. And then replace the eye with the one we just edited. Normal 0, replace with normal 0.
Plug your phone into me. Do it. Do it. Ah! I will charge you. I will charge everything you own.
That actually looks kind of cool. Like it. Alright, I fixed the normal maps. Let's go. Let's wait for the game to load for 3,000 years. People have talked about how I have a lot of amiibo. I don't actually, I do have an amiibo collection, but I don't have like every amiibo ever. I just use one of these. This is a Power Saves amiibo. So you plug this into your computer, you download a pack of Animal Crossing amiibo dumps, and then you use this little coin right here. You put that on there, and then it writes the data to that, and then you take this, and then you put it on the controller in Animal Crossing, and then it spawns the character that you need. You put it right there, and it just goes poof. There's the character I needed. Excellent.
Hey, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'd plug into that.
I guess that's kind of it, really. I guess I can do BCSV editing or string editing. I don't really know. What else is next? Well, there you go, I guess. The video is finally done. If I make another one of these in the future, I'll go over BCSV editing and string editing, because those ain't fun. I had a very basic look at BCSV editing, and I explained a little bit about it in the first Completely Clueless episode, which was how to make a clothesless, is that a word? Villager mod. But I didn't really go very extensively into it. I just kind of explained how to do a very specific thing with it, and like, where to find information about BCSV. Oh, I just realized the Hey C's been on this whole time. No! Whatever, shut up. I don't want to re-record that. Listen, I've spent like 30 hours working on this video. I feel like I'm dying. I'm not okay. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, because, oh my god, I've never made a video this long with this much effort put into it. And also, sorry that it took me so long to make it. Sorry that the villager didn't turn out perfectly, but it was just like a fun little idea, and I didn't want to use up like a really cool, like, community-driven idea just for this video that very few people are going to see. Only the patrons are going to see this. First of all, you made it to the end of the video. Oh my god, thank you for watching this whole thing. It really does mean an unbelievable amount to me. This video was not necessarily a joy to make. It was really hard. I definitely stepped outside my comfort zone, and it was a good experiment for me. Making a promise to the patrons and then, following through with it, not realizing that the concept for the video was not something that I'm very good at. It's kind of hard for me to not be goofy and silly and try to be as entertaining as possible, because that's just what I've programmed myself to try and do. But when you make a tutorial, like, you have to keep it kind of focused and like mostly factual, and like you can't skip any steps, And that got really difficult for me. So I do want to keep doing stuff like this because it's really nice when people ask me questions about like how to do very specific things. I can just be like, hey, here's a video, there you go. Now I don't have to troubleshoot for 3 hours in the Discord again. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. I'm gonna have some cool, like funny ideas, maybe some stuff that's totally out of left field soon. And you might very well get an early look at it, patrons. So once again, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And I hope this helped you. I hope this information was like useful, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I really do. So anyway, ta-ta. A few things to note. BCSV is the proprietary file format for containing properties, parameters, settings of all kinds for all different things in the game. BCSVs are useful when you want to edit a character's default clothing, if you want to change weather patterns on any given day or time, changing item prices, changing turnip prices, stuff like that. All that data's got to be somewhere in the game files, and that's where they would be. I'm gonna insert a clip from the first episode of Completely Clueless where I talk about the BCSV editor that you shouldn't use. Here's that clip. So there is a tool that you can get on Game Banana called BCSV Editor, and they do consistent updates. If you open up the textures with your graphics application of choice, mine being Adobe Photoshop, we need to separate the alpha layer from the actual texture layer. So let's go ahead and do that. Layer mask from transparency. Bam. So that's gonna separate the RGB layer from the alpha layer. I just realized that I'm in the way of the layer panel, so let me get out of the way real quick. Going over here. All right, anyway, so this on the right side there, this right here is the color layer, and this right here is the alpha layer. So you're gonna right click on the alpha layer and then do disable layer mask. That way you can hide it temporarily without deleting it entirely. And see, there you go, those colors look a bit more accurate now. And by a bit more accurate, I mean 100% accurate, because the alpha layer is not affecting it anymore. And of course, you can re-enable that alpha layer at any time. If you want to copy and paste the alpha layer to another layer that you can actually look at, you're going to go over to the channels menu right here, and then select layer 1 mask, copy the whole thing, go back to your layers, and then you can just paste it right there. Boom. So this is what Dottie's layer mask looks like, right? This is the transparency that it passes through to the texture. I'm sure some of you were being driven crazy by the green screen showing up in the corners there. Don't worry, I got it fixed now.